The idea is you get out of North Bennett Street, you start your journey, you become a journeyman.
That's the idea.
Okay, let's stay high level. Okay, you're getting into too much detail.
Okay.
What changed? Why are you back?
He just kept begging me to come back, and like, dude, all right.
Welcome back to the Passion for Craft podcast. Today we're talking about quitting. Brent, when did you give up?
This morning when you walked in. This is Richard's topic idea. So, well, let's let him frame it.
I think
I
I
remember
did a
when
good job.
when Dan Parrish was here, and y'all had kind of made this statement of like, I'm not even on the tools anymore. And then Dan said that, and then kind of looked at you like, are you on the tools? And you're like, no. And I thought that was kind of like understandable because you guys are running the company, but like, do you miss it, like being off the tools? Because right now I'm feeling myself over these last 2 weeks, like being pulled to the administrative side, like heavily, where that's all I'm doing. And I get it, but I kind of don't like it. And I kind of wonder what, like, your transition, like, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, it went, for me, when I got out of North Bennett Street, I was in 93. For 5 years, I was always working. And then I started transitioning out of it. Because remember at the time, I had the millwork and the remodeling. And when we did a homes job, when we did a construction job, I typically wasn't doing the tools. But when we did a millwork job, I was. And so I would flip back and forth.
So when you were doing a homes job, how many people did you have under you at that point when you were doing a homes job?
Not very many. I was managing subcontractors. And so we self-performed on one job, and it didn't go very well because I'm not a good manager. And so I went to a model of having subcontractors and trying to find people that we could do work with. The shop was in this building, so it wasn't hard for me to come here and just start working. Of course, before this, I was in my brother's garage, so I was doing everything then. So I was doing everything by myself for 2 years. Then I hired some people, and we went to 5 or 6. We had probably 10 people the last time I was working on a job, and we were doing a depot down in Temple, Texas, Santa Fe Depot. And I had kind of picked up the tools again to help kind of get us out of a crunch, but that was kind of the last time I did that. So, on and off for 5 or 8 years. And then by that time, when I hired David White, the guy who's been with me a really long time, great guy. He was able to manage and do all the work at a level that I was very comfortable with. So I allowed him to do that. But it's fun to hear that you're kind of getting to that point. I mean, part of this podcast is helping people kind of manage those next levels and growing in this trade and kind of getting better. So it's fun for me to hear you're at that stage or playing around with that. And I think what I would look back at your time and go, like, are you doing your own QuickBooks? Are you doing like
everything?
Are you paying bills and doing all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
And that's why I'm being pulled. And that part of it I don't like.
Yeah.
Like doing the administrative stuff.
Probably I would say that there are a bunch of good bookkeepers out there. I mean, remember what Dan said when he started his thing, that the most important hire he did was that CFO.
First hire, right?
Was it the first hire?
I think so.
Yeah. So there's a lot of wisdom in that. And if you could find that kind of person who can help you think about your business, how to scale it, how to grow it, if that's what you want to do. But certainly a CFO kind of person is someone who can go look at the last year of work that you did and go, you're making more money on these kind of jobs than these kind of jobs. You're not making any money, right? Looking at you, because a bookkeeper's not going to do an analysis of your finances and tell you whether you're making money or not. The advantage of a CFO is he can look at it and go, your bill rate is, $55 an hour, whatever it is. It should be 85. And you'd be like, what? He goes, look, here's what the things you're missing and the things you're not doing. So there's a lot of wisdom in that, but you're probably going to be trying to find a fractional CFO, and there's a lot of those these days who can help
like
you.
a part-time.
Yeah. So there's companies that have fractional CFOs, and I suspect they would work on a company of your size and just say, I need help. They might recommend you that they're not going to want to do, data entry, bookkeeping. I mean, when I went to the build show, there was a guy there that the AI basically does that now. Takes all your receipts, categorizes them by what they are, and puts everything, can put it into QuickBooks. And so, there's time-saving things like that could help you out.
Yeah, because if I'm being pulled away, I want it to be for cool stuff like you're doing videos and stuff. You're not pulled away like, all right, where's that receipt? Like you're traveling, doing book tours, and I'm over here just like looking through Home Depot receipts. I'm just
if I've been doing
you.
it for 35 years, and so
I'm just bitter about it. It's okay.
I think it's you're in a transitional era, right? You're just in that season where.
Well, I don't even know that I really want to transition away from the tools. That's the other thing. Like or were you kicking and screaming? Like, were you pretty like? Okay with it?
What the deal was is that I don't think that was where I was most beneficial for the company.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's where I bring the most value to our company. And so, I'm kind of a big picture vision person, kind of, hey, we need to go here. And, not that super technical, things that can craft anything. I think I'm good, but I'm not really good. Right. And so I would probably look at you and go, are you the best craftsman on your team? And, if you're not, then maybe maybe you suck. Then you thought you were good. No, you know what I'm saying? You're
do.
just like,
yeah.
if you're not the best guy, then, and those guys are fairly readily available and really, because my problem was too, is I was getting distracted too. Right. And just, you get phone calls and crap, I got to take that, right. And so then you couldn't sit there and plan and do everything you need to do to do a good job. Or it'd take you too long, and then you're just wasting money.
And then that's before you're even doing your, like in the 90s, you're not doing build show and YouTube. And like now, think of the directions you're pulled in.
Yeah.
I just was telling Austin before we started, I signed up with a YouTube ad partner like 2 weeks ago. And it was like, all right, we're going to present you with this ad, take it or leave it. It's like, yeah, I'll give you $2,000 to talk about this little battery pack thing. So I was like, this is great. So I filmed the video for it, talked about it, and they were like, oh, can you actually change the way you said this? And can you go back and film this and get this B-roll? And I was like, you know what? I quit. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, send me a box and get your thing back. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the ad was really good. But they were like,
it's amazing that they would try to take someone as influential as you are in that world and say, this is how you need to say it. Right. I mean, look what got you popular. Look what people follow you because of the way you talk, because they like you in your presentation. For them to come along and say, don't say it that way. It's kind of crazy.
It is. Yeah. And it was like $2,000. I'm like, that's a lot of money, but I don't like, for me to go just work would be better instead of like, all right, let me let's go back and reshoot that. Now let me re-edit it.
Set that up, edit it, get everything right.
Oh, yeah. And then the other one was like, all right, we have this next one for NordVPN. It's due tomorrow. I'm like, due tomorrow? Like, when did you start creating my schedule? So I told them I quit. Yeah. So don't email. I didn't say that, but
that was a good decision. I think that you're now getting into that point of, what is your company about? What are you good at? Why do people hire you? Where's the value you bring? And, can you grow that? I mean, you're working for that other builder. I mean, you're going to learn whether that was a good decision or not, and where you guys need to go.
What I will say about being not off the tools, but being pulled in that direction is like doing the meetings. Like I met with the architect, which was out of Utah. They flew in and we walked that house last week. And that was cool. Like to be a part of the walks and then walks with your team. Like I like that part of it where I can like have a say and
Well, that's what I want for you too. Like I want you to be the designer. I want you to be able to have input. I want them to ask you, "Hey, what should we do here?" That's what I think I want everybody that watches this thing to be growing into that role and not be the, "Will you use this MDF thing over here?" And, I want the cheapest moldings and I want this. And, that's not what I think is a good career.
To be kind of like steering the project because you have an expertise.
Because you have an expertise. You certainly you now know things that a lot of architects and designers don't know. I mean, you know how to, that mantle that you executed, most architects couldn't draw. And so, you understanding how a pediment should look, understanding proportion, scale on a mantle are things that they're not considering. And so you now have a skill set that other people don't have. And so that has value.
It's funny too, because like going to walk that job and then like walking with your guys and you and like the stuff that you guys know, and then going to this other place where I'm not going to say the name of, but the designers there are like kind of just willy-nilly like, yeah, I think just waving their hands. And like, I'm just like, and they're nice people, but like going from one job to the next, it's like, dang, this is kind of rough.
Yeah.
Like you're saying one has a plan and one has a philosophy to fall back on and the other one is not.
No, I think they both have a plan, but the one that's better, like the plan is like based on architecture and like historic precedents, whereas the other is just like, look at this Pinterest picture, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, just do this. Like they wanted to make these, they have this staircase as you walk into the left, staircase goes up. And they were like, this is a ranch, it's a rustic place. Make these staircases look like beams, like just a solid beam. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to need to like rip the face off of a beam, then chop the end grain off first, and then like glue it onto the side and then like make it look like it's a beam. And they were like, what? Wait, what? Like, why would you have to make the end show? And I'm like, well, if you wrap it around, like that's kind of weird,
It's not a beam.
And they were showing me a picture that had like all the end grain showing. And I was just like we were kind of talking past each other.
Right.
Like, what are y'all talking about? It was really like, just make it look like this. And
Well, I don't think you guys believe me that people don't know.
I totally believe you now.
You know that architects aren't trained in this. Designers don't know. I mean, I can't tell you the last 2 or 3 projects we've gone where the designer has shown up for the job with Pinterest photos. And like you're saying, or a PowerPoint, and a PowerPoint full of pictures from Pinterest. And this is what we want to do. No drawings, no thing, just, figure that out.
And then we do it, and then it's like, well, not like that.
Right,
It's like, you didn't give me a measurement on that.
Right.
Well, then one job, the lady's borderline. No, I can't. But this lady like writes something on the wall. No, she tells us, I want to do this.
I know who this is.
And then you come back for the next meeting, X that out, I want to do this. And then we started dating them. This one was done on August 18th. Then the next visit, X that out. Now it's wallpaper. This one was done on October 20th. And we have already like prepared for this stuff, like we've bought materials and like they've prepped the walls, and then it's just come in and change it. And that just kills the morale. It really is disrespectful to the person's budget too.
Oh my
gosh. It's just like a huge waste of time.
Yeah.
I want to do this now. It's like, we don't even have that material.
Oh, I know.
How long have you been walking past this? Sorry.
crazy.
I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no,
That's wild. If you have a plan, the work comes together faster too. Like it's not only like the whatever, like, I was going to say, it's a little bit of an inconvenience, like buying materials and everything. That's a huge inconvenience. But at the same time, like, if you know where you're headed, everyone on the job can think through, this is going to be a barrier pretty soon. This is going to stop us up pretty soon. This is going to be a problem pretty soon,
See, what I think would be good if craftsmen out there got good at talking to designers who don't know what the hell they're doing and saying, okay, I see your pictures here. I'm assuming what you want. I'm going to go spend 3 hours figuring out how to make this. You guys are going to be charged for that. If you want me to draw it up, I'm going to charge you for that, and then you're going to have to approve that. Or I'm going to just start working trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And when it's wrong, it's on you. It's not on me because you're not drawing it right. I mean, that would be one of those conversations that makes the designer go, "Oh crap!" Because I fear there's too many guys that were like, "Well, okay, I guess I better do that," and they don't get paid for their time. They don't get paid for the waste of time. All because the designer can find something on Pinterest that looks like something that she might think she likes.
I had a designer tell me one time that she goes, Richard, there's like two types of designers. There's designer A who like has everything figured out. It's all planned. It's all like just been calculated. Then there's like designer B who just like, they just kind of fly by the seat of their pants. She's like, I'm more, what do you think I am? I was like, I don't think I've met A. I don't know if y'all exist. I think you're making that's a mythological creature.
Well, one thing that makes it tough is that for our design team here, we will give quotes for doing stuff and it is high, but we are spending all this time figuring out, we're going on the internet. We're figuring out where the sources for that material are, where you can find that, how to specify it, how to order that. And no one's doing that, right? And so when we're saying, it's going to take a lot of time to do this, they're like, well, there's like, how could you spend that much time? We got to figure all these details out. And if you want us to figure these details out, it's going to take a lot of time.
And that is worth it, because if you don't do that side of it, where you're calling out all the dimensions and everything, then you're going to have a team like mine, like trying to figure it out, charging $65 an hour of like 4 guys standing around. Oh, well, how do we do? And like, you're paying for it either way,
right?
You're either going to pay for it in the design, or you hand those papers to us and we just fly.
Yeah.
One thing I would ask of you, you don't have to answer this, is do you know if you're making money?
I am, yeah.
So how do you know? Do you know what your percentage is? Do you know what your gross profit is? Do you know what your
I don't know that.
Do you know what your net profit is? So one thing that you could get good at now that you're pulling away a little bit, and I know you're trying to figure that out, but it would be great, it would be smart if you knew that you were making money and how much money, and then could track it on each job. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of throwing something out there that
like a data point I can look at.
Yeah, and say, well, because when you know what your gross profit is, okay, then that means you know what your overhead is. That means you know what your net profit is.
Can we define some terms here really quick?
Yeah.
Gross profit is how much you bring in without any deduction overhead?
How would you do it? How would you say it? Yeah, gross profit is basically if you charge $100, okay, and you make $50, okay, that's your gross profit. But what it doesn't include is any overhead.
Hold on. You just said if you charge $100 and you make $50.
Right.
I don't understand.
I'm sorry. If you charge $100 and you get paid, and you're left with $50, okay, that's gross profit of 50%. Okay. So if you left over $25, you've got a gross profit of 25%.
Okay.
Right. So you have this amount that's called gross profit. Then you have to subtract from that your overhead. Okay. So what would be Richard's overhead? His trucks, buying tools, fuels, administrative time, right? You're probably not charging for that.
I'm not charging for that.
And so, but if you hired a bookkeeper, that would be overhead, phones, all of these different advertising, whatever the deal is, right? That's his overhead. So, if he's made $25, but he looks at the month and his overhead is $28, he's actually losing money every month. And so he's not making a net profit. He's got a net profit of 25%, but because he's got higher overhead.
Are you saying
he's not making any money?
He charges $125, or he charges $100 and he gets paid $125?
No, I'm left with 25 after I pay everyone. And
okay.
I'm holding 25 at the end of the job.
Okay,
but I owe 28.
Yeah, say it's $100,000, right? Yeah. So just because that's a bigger number. right? If he after he's paying everything else, he's got $25,000 left.
So he gets $100,000 and he pays his guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Materials.
Okay.
And so you have direct costs, and the direct costs are things that go into that job.
That don't count towards the gross profit.
They aren't part of
Correct.
my operating costs.
Yes.
I thought gross profit was, if I was to dumb this down for everyone, if I had a lemonade stand, right?
Right.
And it cost me,
You might have a limit if you keep on like this. Might be working at a lemonade stand.
So
No, this is a good conversation.
So I thought the gross profit was like all the money I made, not minus materials yet, not minus anything else.
So you have direct costs.
So direct costs go into that. Okay.
Grow into it, and what you're left over after you pay your direct costs for that specific job
Sorry.
is your
You might
gross
have it.
profit.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it's all those hidden costs. Okay. And I think there's a lot of guys out there who think they're making money because they got money in the bank.
I thought you were going to say, I thought gross profit was like disgusting.
I'm not seeing how it's gross,
Doesn't sound gross.
Help
to
me understand
It's
this.
disgusting how much we're making on this.
No, I get that it's what you've grossed versus.
So,
what you net.
but here's the deal, and I'm looking at the camera because I think there's guys out there who think they're making money, but they're not. Okay, that if they've got money in the bank, they're really just playing with cash flow. Okay, it means because they got a deposit from a job, because they didn't have to pay as much materials or whatever the thing is, they've got money in the bank, $100,000 in the bank. Man, I'm doing great. But they actually don't know that if they looked at the last 10 jobs, they didn't realize that they're actually losing a little bit of money in each job. And then when work slows down, they start paying all these things out and they've got nothing left. So your net profit should be, they say between 10 and 20%, right? Just big businesses try to make 10%. So that's a kind of a good number. So if he does $1 million in a year, he should have $100,000. That's net profit. Now that might go into things that like he's buying tools, or he might go buy a truck or whatever else, but he still should know that he's made a net profit of whatever that amount is. And so, but things are busy right now. Everybody's flush with cash, doing fine, whatever. And I'm not saying that that's what's happening right now. I'm just saying when in good times, you may not know that you're making money because you really don't have control of what all your costs are.
Mm-hmm.
But there's money in the bank, so you're not.
But there's money in the bank, so we're doing great. Yeah, I'm making money. Well, are you? That would be my challenge. That what I'd say to people out there is make sure you got the numbers, which is reason why Dan's hire was so smart. And I'd be curious how he found a CFO to help him. I'm sure it was a fractional CFO because I don't think he had the volume to pay. You're going to have to pay a CFO, $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year.
To be a full-time guy.
A full-time guy.
We had a guest speaker come in, and she was a blacksmith. She was a small business owner, and what we learned about her in terms of blacksmithing was next to nothing. But what we learned about her in terms of owning a small business was like so much. But she was explaining that there was an organization that's put on by the government that helps small businesses. It's like a small business advisor or something that you can.
Yeah, I went and talked to those guys.
You can meet with them for free.
Yeah.
It's like a completely free service.
They're great. They're basically guys who've been in business
Yeah.
and they're retired, but they still like business and stuff. There's an SBA office.
That's what it is.
It's a small business administration. It's a counseling thing.
Yeah.
And
But she was saying like, just be really honest with them about every one of your numbers. Don't she was like, I was in the class with a lot of these people and they were trying to put up a front, like they had everything together. And I was like, I don't know anything. I don't have anything. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's why I'm here. And apparently they were really helpful.
they're
to
super
her.
helpful. They're
Like,
great.
They were like, you need to get this. You need to know this number. You need to whatever. And then she was like, I just followed their steps. And I went from a blacksmith shop that didn't own a space to one that owned a space in Boston or in Rhode Island where, it was crazy expensive, is her words, not mine. But she's like, and now I'm like a thriving blacksmithing company. And I know what I need to do when times are hard. And I know what I can do when times are good. she had like a whole range of stuff.
But realize that you're gonna continue to ask questions and need to understand your numbers as you get bigger. Like we are currently trying to figure out what our hourly rate at the shop should be. We've taken on some more overhead. We're trying to grow. We've got a quality control guy out there. We've got a new shop manager, and so we're looking at ourselves. How is our hourly rate changed, and are we still making the same percentage? Gross profit goal on a millwork job is a 50% gross profit. Are we still making that? And what is our net profit after that's over? So these are not things that you need to figure out one time. It's something that you should be on top of going forward. So it's not easy. It's not easy. Anyway, as you step away, that CFO, the fractional CFO, is something you might want to think about, or finding someone who can help you analyze your numbers. Because a bookkeeper, they're pretty easy to find. In my experience, they've been women who've been bookkeepers. They're detail oriented. They help you manage all that stuff, but they're typically not someone who can say, you know what, on the last 5 jobs, I did an autopsy and I looked at your numbers. You spent 33% on materials on this job, but you only spent 22 on this job, right? I mean,
there's more just of accounting of everything.
Right.
They don't really interpret it. They're just like, hey, you did this.
Right.
Here's the data on
Right.
that. Yeah, and I don't even think, like I've told you, I don't even know that I want to step away. I'm just being pulled right now.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think I'm the best craftsman on our team, but I think I know the most about millwork and layout and like how things should be. So I really need to be there for a lot of stuff. So
yeah, there are not many guys that I can think of that, and maybe from the YouTube world, guys who are master craftsmen and running a business. Someone's got to go find more work, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you got 8 or 10 guys, you have to keep them busy, and so that means you can't, unless you're got pixie dust or something, you can just sprinkle and people are always going to call, and then always wait in line, and everybody is just going to line up waiting for you. Good luck with that. I mean, but you got to go get work for your guys.
Yeah, if you have good people like I do now, you don't want to lose them.
Right.
You want to, because they're going to be like, if the work dries up, they're going to
I got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it is an interesting thing because I know in the Northeast, actually, I don't know the scene up there very well, but I do know from what our instructors are telling us, it seems like a lot more people up there are still working, like have not hung up the tool belt and are running their businesses, but they just run a lot leaner of a business than, 10 people. I think the biggest business I've seen up there, like personally, has been the one I worked for this summer, which was Dennis Semperbond's Beacon Hill Restoration, where Dennis was still working. He wasn't on the job like as much because in the summers he has interns and everything. But I mean, there were 7 of us, and then 4 of which being full-time members of that team, and then I guess 5 if you include Dennis. So that was a pretty big team, and I know he was doing a lot of like the grunt work, going and lining up jobs, but also I know he is still.
Well, I mean, and I suspect that's about the size that you can still work and do stuff. When you start having 10 guys and you need to line them out on different jobs,
Yeah.
and you need to go solve things. But Dennis is also probably the best craftsman, in New England, right? He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so that makes it hard to pull him off jobs because he's so talented.
Yeah. Another guy that I hope we're going to be able to get to interview, his name's Rich Freiberg. He was the second-year preservation carpenter.
Familiar? Y'all have talked about him, right?
Yeah. He taught me turning, but he's a great instructor. He hires interns every summer as well, but he's got a lean crew. But we'll have to ask him about his philosophy. He's very kind of gruff guy and very serious about what he does, but he'll like get upset if people find out about him that he doesn't know who referenced to them. So he's like, "What? Who told you about me? No, I don't know them. All right, I'm not going to do your job." And like hangs up and like, but he's got people lining up to do his work. to work for him. So, that business model is working for him, but it is
Well, the guy
rare.
the guy is doing those windows for that job that
Gary
we went
Nealer?
and did. Yeah.
Yeah. He's another one.
Yeah, he's another one where, he's a one man shop. He might have someone come in and help him. And he's got when you get really good and you only have 1 or 2 or 5 people, you probably could wait for people to get in line, and pull a Rich Freiberg where you're just like, wait, I don't know you. No.
Yeah. And we'll have to ask him about it because it's funny how he's like, I don't do anyone who I don't know who referenced that. It's just,
which is,
it's good. It's good word of mouth. Well, it keeps also his clientele where he wants his clientele. So he does very high end work. Like, what was that place in Rhode Island that you toured that was like that beautiful
Lemon Hill or no?
Yeah, it was one of the
that
whatever
federal
that
house.
Yeah. So that house, he worked on that house.
Yeah.
So he's doing
Right.
the highest end,
Right.
Stuff, and so
Yeah,
he's keeping his clientele.
I
where he
think
needs them.
the other thing you got to balance too is as you step away from the business, there needs to be some goals, some financial goals that you probably want to establish. Like if you're Naylor or Rich Freiberg, there's going to be a ceiling of how much you're going to make, right? Just because there's only 40 hours in a week, and that you can work, and if you want to work 60, you can work 60, but you're gonna at that dollar an hour. It's let's just say you're charging $100 an hour. It's $200,000 a year. Okay, and that's great, right? That's a lot of money, and if you can build this pace and this thing that, hey, I'm making the money I want to make, great. But if you want to grow and things like that, then you may need to get away from that model. Now, the other side of that is, the story of the fisherman and the businessman, and him going to him, what do you mean you only fish for 4 hours a day? He goes, why wouldn't you fish for 8 hours? You can make twice as much money. The guy's like, well, then what I would do? Well, you'd hire another boat. You can take it more boat, and you get more boats, and you can pay. Well, then what I do? Well, you get the whole fleet, and then you sell out. And then what do I do? You can do whatever you want. You can fish. He goes, well, that's what I'm doing. And so, right, it's just like we can get in America, especially it seems, we can get kind of bigger's better, and I faster's and more. And, I remember when I first started, my goal was, someone come buy me out, right? Someone come out and pay for my business. I don't want that. I thought I wanted that, but why was I thinking that? Well, because you would hear
go do what I love.
Yeah, exactly. So
mill work.
It's
exactly.
it's just I do think though that as you consider change and what's happening to your business, it would be pretty refreshing if you could go, you know what, I'm content with this. I'm happy with this. That means that I can keep 10 guys. And I can still be involved in it as much as I want or little as I want or whatever, right? Where you build this model of contentment, right? That's not grow, just to grow.
Yeah, I think I like that idea. That's kind of why I start feeling pressure from things like that YouTube partner thing. I was just like, screw you people. Like I have so much to do right now. Like I'm not the kind to just like pile it on. Like I just want to focus on certain things.
Yeah.
But yeah, how much would you sell for your company? Or would you just go do a public, make it public? I'll buy some shares.
No, I don't have a number. I don't have a number. I mean, I don't
I'll give
think
you $50 right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Cash.
Oh,
Right now.
Sold.
Exactly. I don't have a number. Because the other question is, well, then how much is enough, right? I'd have these conversations with my friends, like what is it going to take for you to retire? And I don't think biblically I'm called to retire. I don't think you retire. And so I'm not interested in retire, but it's an interesting comment. It's like, well, how much do you need? And so I've heard people say $40 million, and I've heard people say $3 million, and I've heard people say $1 million, right? And so then you're figuring out, okay, well, how much does it cost for me to live, send these kids to school, do all the things I need to do? $1 million is probably not enough, right? Especially
over a lifetime.
Yeah, with your kids and everything. You can't stop working for $1 million,
screwed.
right? And so it's you are. I
Painted
mean,
myself into a corner.
you need more than that in order to survive and thrive.
I'm a wage
and so
slave.
and so then that becomes like, well, what is the number? I don't know. And so and I love what I do, so why would I do that?
Yeah, I heard a guy say to retire first you have to tire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
until you're tired, you can't retire.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Are you tired yet? Are you good?
No, I mean, I'm blessed. I mean, I feel like I love what I do.
That's good.
I do. I love what I do. I love
I think it
helping people.
It definitely comes through in everything you do.
Yeah, no, it's a huge blessing to love what you do and do it paid for it. So that's good. I think you're going to be forced, okay, to evaluate life a little bit, and just where, now that you're meeting with architects on job and doing walkthroughs with them, and counseling them and teaching them, what's appropriate and what's right. Are you good at that, right? Or are you, is the YouTube world, how much is being influenced by that, right? And so you might be at a point where you're kind of reflecting on kind of what do I want to do, what am I good at, where do I bring value, what the next 10 years look like. Maybe you may be at that point where you're planning out at least the next 2 years, but maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years.
Yeah, I haven't thought about 10 years ahead. Probably should think about that. Usually just take it day by day. But yeah, it's probably all that. I feel like actually I've been everything you just said is I feel like I have never gotten out of that for like the past 5 years.
Never gotten out of what?
Like being pulled into YouTube, pulled into building, pulled in all these different directions. I think I just kind of hang out in the middle and do like, feed that thing a little bit.
Here's a question for you. What is your super strength?
I don't know. I don't even know if I've identified that. Like carpentry, I guess.
No,
that's not your super strength.
You're like, I've seen your work.
No, that's not it. Trust me. Yeah, that is not what your super strength is.
I wasn't saying that.
No,
I was saying it's terrible.
I mean, certainly what you've done on YouTube is super impressive. I think in front of a camera, you have a real strength. I think that you communicate in a very effortless way and in a very open, friendly, engaging way. And I think that's a super strength. I was
going to say encouraging people was your super strength, because I think there are a lot of carpenters who I've heard from school who are like, oh yeah, I started watching Richard and he like got me into this. And
when
I was trying to figure this out,
cool.
I looked at Richard and saw his video and he was explaining how to, install MDF trim. And I was like, oh, cool. I got to figure that out.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's so good to hear. I think maybe you're right about that, because whenever I do present my content, I present it in almost a way that like, I just found this out. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because partly that was kind of true for a long time. But I'm kind of just like, this is a cool way to do it. And I think a lot of guys are like, this is the way you do it, and it's like, I still don't have that. Like,
well, I think you're a good teacher, right? And you share very effortlessly, and so I think that's attractive to people, and I think they want to learn from you. It'll be interesting with these architects what ideas they take from you and how much leeway they give you.
Well, they were very happy that I was doing it by my association with you, so I won't let you down. They very much look up to you. Like, which is really cool to hear. So they're in Utah, they don't even.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's cool. I think when I brought that up is because I look at it and that might prove to be a real skill set you have, right? That you're helping an architectural team kind of think through, how they're going to put moldings up in a house. And so
what's crazy is I feel like looking at the plans and everything, they're like, the project manager was like, do you see anything like wrong, anything like that Brent wouldn't like? And I was like, honestly, it looks great. Like, everything is, the only thing that you wouldn't agree with is like the chair rails are all at 36. And
I hope you said something. Tell me you said something.
But the ceilings
Tell me you said something.
I didn't say anything but the ceilings are 10 foot, so that they need to be lower, right?
Yes.
But I just was like, I don't know.
That thing right there is 10 feet tall, and that chair rail is at 25 inches.
Well, here's the other thing. They want those to, the window stools are all at 36, and they want them to lace in.
That chair rail height is established by that pedestal. That's a traditional thing. So,
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll let you come take a look at it.
So when you bring up the question of when did Brent hang up his tool belt, it makes me think of a lot of things because, like, a lot of times Brent will say, yeah, I put together that. And I'm like, oh, cool. When did you do that? I didn't know you could still, do something like
still
that.
had it in you.
Right. And he goes, well, no, my guys put that together. I'm like, okay. So it wasn't you put that together. It was your guys. So someone on your team put that together. Yeah, man,
what were you talking about when you said you're just making up stuff?
Remember you said you carved that? No, I'm just kidding. No.
Well, we were looking at your urn.
Oh.
Because I just turned an urn and...
Turned an urn.
Turned an urn.
Turned an urn.
Turned an urn. Well, I did. And...
He turned an urn for my father who passed away, and it's for his ashes. So it was very cool.
It was really cool. But it brought a lot of questions in my mind where I was like, when did you, like, hang up the tool belt? But, like, I guess my mom was like, I brought this up to her. I was like, Dad says he did this a lot.
Oh, okay.
And he doesn't really do a lot of stuff anymore because he hung out the tool belt. And she was like, no, he built a lot of stuff. And I was like, okay.
Hey, she stuck up for you.
What did he build?
That's good.
And she goes, he built a ton while he was at North Bennett. And she was like, look at this piece of furniture. Look at this piece of furniture. Look at this piece of furniture. And so she showed me a lot of stuff, a lot of which being furniture that you had made.
Yes.
Which is very interesting because I know you hate furniture makers and every furniture maker. No, but I was kind of curious, like, what was your crowning achievement that you feel like has been one of the coolest pieces that you've done where you've done it? Because I know you've got a team around you now that does a lot of cool stuff as well, and there's probably still a lot of stuff that you're proud of, but I didn't know, like, your hands-on from your brain.
Well,
like,
I mean, like
because you design a lot of stuff now.
I mean, I think of like the Santa Fe Depot that we worked on where we were crafting and building and doing things. Because it was such a monumental project, and it was really cool to be a part of, and I have a lot of my hands in it. The furniture's nice because it's still with our family. It's still standing. It's still working and stuff like that.
Because you built a chest for Virginia.
Built a bed for Virginia.
You built a blanket chest for you.
Yeah. And those beds up at the lake house are mine. The cherry panel bed and the 4-poster bed.
No way.
Be honest, are there any pocket holes in there?
No pocket holes.
Okay.
All Morse intended.
No,
Which is cool.
I mean, one of the funnest times I had was when I had that little shop over here and I started making stuff again, because it had been probably 15 years since I had my own chop saw, and then I had to get nail guns.
talking about right here?
Yeah.
Down the street? Or
No, in the other side. When I was doing YouTube and I built the pediment video that you saw, figuring out that pediment.
Oh, so this is more recently.
Yeah. So was that 2 years ago that we were doing that? Yeah. That I had that little shop over there to practice and lay stuff out.
that was like your own.
That was my own little space.
Vossel's
No,
thing. I like that. The stand that you have. Where did you get that? It's like almost like a pulpit type.
Yeah, it was an old. It was a pedestal from a job.
That was cool.
Yeah. So I'm not answering your question, but it's just I've always enjoyed that. Always liked that. I don't think anything stands out as like that was my masterpiece.
Yeah.
So.
Well, interesting. I was just curious because there have been a lot of little projects that have popped up where I'm like, I want to do this. I want to try this. I want to do this. And I think you and I had a lot of the same thoughts where we were like, I want to do this.
Do you think it's fair that he says, like, look, I did that and he didn't do it? Is that fair?
I think when he designs it, it's fair. But I don't think I built is the right terminology.
Oh, he said I built?
No, I don't think
Oh, no. He's just straight
I don't
up.
think I might have said we built.
Yeah. You've said we built a lot, but I'm always like, oh, you had a hand in that? No.
Just getting called out.
My guys did.
You've laid hands on this?
Yeah.
You lifted a tool to it?
Lifted a tool as well.
Yeah.
You took the time out of your
Is
to
there
lift
any
up a
part of
tool.
this where you're kind of saying, I wonder if I'm better than Dad?
Not at all. I don't think I'm good at all right now. I'm trying my
No.
best. I'm trying my best to get good.
No, you're good. I mean, you've shown me your carving. You've shown me your cabinet. You're not giving yourself enough credit, especially
I'm
in the
trying
short amount
hard,
of time.
but I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
exactly.
still fresh in
Yeah.
this thing.
I am fresh. I want to get better. There's a lot of stuff. I think there's a lot of classmates that I have that are really good. And
I think
so-
if you weren't good, he would tell you honestly. I don't think he would.
Would you
bluff
tell
on
me?
that.
Would you say something?
Yeah, my view of you is that it's just hours in the day. You haven't put your 10,000 hours in, and so it's just there's so much to learn that you're learning right now that's kind of filling your brain up. I think I think you're turning. You're better at turning than I am. Like,
I did too, but I don't think you did turning.
I didn't do
Yeah.
I didn't do much turning, but I mean it's cool that you got the lathe, that you're working on that stuff, you're building that thing. I mean it's really cool. So
Yeah, I turn a lot. I turn probably too much.
We've been talking. I know we're probably getting close to the end, but you are about to put we've been talking about taking the tool belt off, but you're about to put it on.
Mhm.
Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah. Yeah.
well, we don't know.
Right.
I don't think he like what the thinking is that maybe he's out at the shop building some stuff and doing it for a few months, and then maybe he's out project managing for a little
And
bit.
probably design too. I would
I'm
think
doing
'cause
finance for a little while.
you're learning all that.
Finance.
Greg, Eric said he was mentoring me.
Oh, he
And doing
read a
some
balance sheet,
finances,
read a profit and loss. Yeah, for sure. And then, but I think he's going to probably be a good salesman, and so
Yes.
I think that is maybe where
You
he
would be
ends
a
up.
great salesman.
He would be a good salesman.
Really
so,
None of our stuff is very good, so you probably wouldn't want to do this.
so
But I think I've thought about kind of your role too. I think even if you like come in to Hull and like you're not even on the tools, everything you just did was still so beneficial
so
to what you
valuable.
do because
Yeah.
you can like talk to these people, these high-end architects and stuff, and you're like everything.
Right.
Well, not everything, but a lot of.
Well,
stuff.
I
Yeah.
think the reason I wanted him to go there is because I think if you look, the niche that we have, okay, is the historic aspect of stuff, the historic precedent, and that's what I think he's going to learn and be able to carry on. Is just the precedent that allows us to build better. I mean,
Yeah.
all of the samples you see in here are based on historic precedent. Someone needs to be able to carry that forward.
Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode of the Passion for Craft podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.